as the championship reaches its climax, the whole caravan has moved some 70 miles north to Van, another university town, a very pretty town, historic town. It's a very busy town these days, in as much that you have an International Book Festival here. We also have the Women's European Basketball Championship and of course the Junior World Rugby Championship. The welcome has been superb from the people of Van. Arguably the best 4 teams have arrived at the semi-final stage, although you have to feel for Ireland, who just missed out in the end. England possibly a little bit lucky because the draw favoured them. The big hitters are here, the favourites, South Africa and New Zealand. Might it be a repeat of last year? It's going to be an intriguing contest between South Africa and Wales, because you have to look back 12 months, I think, at South Africa. They won the championship 12 months ago, but they don't have the same grunt up front, if you like. England exposed a frailty, I think, in the South African scrum, and France exposed it even further, and that will not have gone unnoticed by the Welsh. We've seen Wales kicking downfield quite a lot in this tournament. They can't afford to do that against South Africa with Colby, Obi and Sinatla in the back three. They're probably the most devastating back three in the tournament. So Wales will have to think of other options, I think. They'll have to prevent the ball going wide, depending on who plays at outside half. Could be Pollard, could be Duprier. But Wales will have to tackle low. They'll have to make their first up tackles count. They can't let the rolling maul get forward traction, because as we saw Wales against Argentina in the second half, Argentina almost steamrolled Wales. Certainly with that first try, it certainly asked questions of the Welsh. If Wales watched a video of the French game against South Africa closely, then they will know that they'll have to take the game from the first whistle to South Africa, put pressure on them right from the first kickoff. They can't let South Africa get into their stride. Their scrum has to be solid, and I think they have a solid scrum, and that'll give the back row an opportunity to feed off the front 5. And here in Van, as we've already seen, the crowd, they certainly like the underdog here. And if Wales are the underdogs, then it augurs well for them.
New Zealand are through to yet another semi-final.
Looking ahead to the clash between New Zealand and England, another intriguing contest, North versus South again, and many parallels, I think, with the Wales-South Africa contest. The New Zealand scrum hasn't proved all that strong. Ireland exposed them, and I think England, with their juggernaut pack, will have spotted that, certainly. Again, New Zealand, like South Africa, they don't concede many tries, but they did concede 3 against Ireland. They were under pressure more than once, and had that game continued for another 5 minutes, who knows, then New Zealand might have missed out on the semi-final. It's a sign of a good team that if you are put under pressure and that you can overcome that pressure and go on to win, then you're worthy of consideration as world champions. And just like South Africa, I think New Zealand are also in that bracket. We will probably see England take on New Zealand up front. How they go behind is still a question that needs to be answered. Will we see the ball move wide? They have some good players behind the scrum, no doubt about it. But I think England are focusing on destroying and dominating up front. And just like Wales, England can't afford to kick possession downfield, because New Zealand have potent attackers, counter-attackers in Joe Webber at fullback. Lolangi Senior is a pocket dynamite of a wing three-quarter. You hope to unearth future stars in this tournament. When it has mattered, Ardie Savea has come to the fore, and you have to consider Ardie Savea, following his brother Julian, as a potential All Black. But 2 games to go, and he could emerge from this tournament as a winning captain, but also as a contender for the Silver Fern. History tells us, certainly at senior level, that semi-finals of any World Cup provide a better spectacle than the final. And I can't see anything other than that happening here in Van. It promises to be a huge spectacle of rugby again, and the crowds in Van have come out in their thousands to support this championship. All I will say is I predict a North-South final.